Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Calgary, Canada, where he participated in the 51st G7 summit. PM Modi shared this update via tweet, reached Calgary, Canada to attend the G7 summit. We'll be meeting various leaders and sharing my thoughts on key global issues. I will also emphasize the priorities of the global south. Before arriving in Canada, PM Modi concluded his visit to Cyprus, where he held extensive talks with Cyprus President Nikos Christodoulides. Their discussions focused on strengthening bilateral ties between the two countries. The Israeli Air Force has launched a powerful strike on the headquarters of Iran's state TV channel IRIB. During a live broadcast, the studio lights suddenly went out, explosions occurred, and anchor Sahar Emami fled the camera in fear. People present on the set could be heard shouting, Allahu Akbar. Israel had warned residents in the area to evacuate before launching the strike and stated that the target was Iran's communication center, spreading lies. Following the attack, chaos erupted in Tehran, with people fleeing and massive traffic jams across the city. The mortal remains of Captain Sumit Sabharwal, who died in the Air India plane crash in Ahmedabad on 12th June, were brought to Mumbai this morning. His body was taken to his residence in Jalvayu Vihar, where he lived with his elderly parents. Friends, relatives, and local residents gathered outside to pay their respects. Businessman Niranjan Hirannandani and local MLA Dilip Lande also offered tributes. Sumit's father Pushkar Raj Sabharwal and other family members were seen mourning. Captain Sabharwal was piloting the ill-fated aircraft along with First Officer Cleve Kundar. Today marks day 4 of the Iran-Israel war. Amidst escalating bombings and growing danger, India has launched a rescue operation to evacuate stranded citizens and students in Iran. According to official sources, the first group of evacuees crossed into Armenia on Tuesday night. Around 110 Indians were included in this batch. This evacuation follows discussions between India and Iranian governments. Amid the ongoing Iran-Israel conflict, the Indian embassy in Tehran is actively monitoring the safety of Indian nationals. The embassy is making continuous efforts to stay in touch with the Indian students in Iran. A new advisory has been issued urging Indians to leave Tehran and move to safer locations. The Indian embassies in Iran and Israel have shared guidance through their official X accounts. An emergency helpline has also been set up. Delhi CM Rekha Gupta today inaugurated an Ayushman Arogya Mandir at the Tees Hazari Court complex. A total of 33 Ayushman Arogya Mandirs have been launched across Delhi. Even those without Ayushman cards can avail free treatment, medicines and diagnostic services. While inaugurating the centers, the CM criticized the previous AAP government, stating that although the center gave Delhi 2400 crore rupees 5 years ago, no real work was done. Tamil Nadu CM M.K. Stalin has demanded that Tamil be made an official language for arguments in both the Supreme Court and Madras High Court. Speaking at a wedding in Thanjavur, he also made an unusual request to newlyweds: have more children to ensure Tamil Nadu does not lose parliamentary representation in the future. Justice B. Pugalandi from the Madras High Court was also present during the event. Indigo Flight 6E2706 from Kochi to Delhi made an emergency landing in Nagpur after receiving a bomb threat. All passengers were safely deboarded. The flight had taken off at 9:20 am and landed under security protocols. Investigations is currently ongoing. The J&K government has declared the Amarnath Yatra route a no-fly zone from July 1st to August 10th. The restriction applies to UAVs, drones, balloons or any flying objects across both Pahalgam and Baltal routes. Only medical, disaster relief and security drones are exempted. The state has also installed thousands of CCTV cameras for safety. In the murder case of Indore businessman Raja Raghuvanshi, the police claimed that his wife Sonam was the mastermind behind the killing. Meghalaya police arrested Sonam along with 4 accomplices. The SIT is now preparing to recreate the crime scene to clarify the sequence and timing of the murder. The murder took just 18 minutes to execute. Police have recovered chats and recordings between Sonam and co-accused Raj Kushwaha as evidence.